Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Trey back with another vehicle. Got another article from New York Post titled "Exercise May Lower ALS Risk for Men but Not for Women, New Study." So we're gonna get through this article. So before we get to that, go ahead and hit that like button. Helps me out a lot trying to trigger this algorithm. Sub if you haven't already. Please leave a comment, tell what you think. Hit that notification bell for all future uploads and share this with anybody who might have some interest in this. So without further ado, let's get into this article. And apologize if the audio's not that great because, like I said, I am at work, so it's kind of tough to. I don't have all my equipment. I'm using the camera from the laptop and the microphone for the laptop. So, get on to the reading. Moderate or vigorous exercise may lower the risk of ALS, a fatal disease for men but for not women. New research finds. A study published Wednesday in Neurology, the Medical Journal of the American Academy of Neurology, followed, I'm just going to say, 373,000 Norwegian people for about 27 years. Participants recorded their physical activity ranging from sedentary to moderate to intense. During the follow-up period, 504 people developed ALS. ALS is a very serious disease, and I think this article will get into what it is. I'd rather this article explain it to me because my explanation would be kind of bad. You know, I know what it is. Adjusting for lifestyle factors can affect the risk of ALS, like smoking and body weight. Researchers found that male participants who reported moderate levels of physical activity had a 29% lower risk of ALS, while higher levels of physical activity meant a 41% lower risk. So men, that means you need to be very active so you won't develop ALS for sure. Just being averagely active tell you almost reduce 30%. The study only found an association between physical activity and ALS risk of ALS in male, not female participants. Okay, what about that? Researchers also analyzed participants' resting heart rates and indicated overall fitness, finding that those with lowest rates had 32% reduced risk of ALS compared to participants with high rates. Study author Dr. Aders, I'm not butchering that name. I can't even say that university name right now. Akershus, I butchered it. University Hospital in Norway notes that the diagnosis of ALS in high-profile athletes has spurred the thinking that strenuous physical activity is an environmental risk factor that leads to development and early onset of the disease. One study found that NFL players are 4 times more likely to develop and die from ALS than the general adult male population. Reason why? Because all the hits they take. Because all those hits that could paralyze you, concussions. It's mainly because of all the concussions that you get from American football. That's the main reason why older NFL players, will develop ALS later on, or CTE, which is the other one. Anyway. Researchers also shown that ALS risk genes are activated by exercise, adding to the growing debate about relationship between physical activity and ALS. There have been conflicting findings on levels of physical activity, fitness, and ALS risk, that doctor said. A study found that for men, living a more active lifestyle could be linked to a reduced risk of ALS more than 30 years later. So just being physically active and not taking all those hits like a football player, American football player would do, significantly reduces your risk of ALS. Basically. Now, what is ALS? Like I said, I wanted them to define it. And I knew ALS was Lou Gehrig disease because that was the first name before they changed it to ALS. ALS, also referred to Lou Gehrig's disease, for the Hall of Fame baseball player who died of it in 1941, is a progressive neurodegenerative, I always mess up pronouncing stuff. Y'all know how I am. Disease. With ALS, the nerve cells that control muscle function deteriorate and patients gradually become unable to walk, move, eat, speak, and breathe, leading to partial and total paralysis and death. I think sarcopenia is one of the conditions that comes with ALS, and sarcopenia is age-related loss of muscle. So it's connected to ALS also. They probably don't mention that. There are no known cure for ALS. The average life expectancy after diagnosis is 2 to 5 years. So once you develop it, the longest you're able to live is 5 years at most. I don't know no cases. Anybody living beyond 5 years with ALS. Anyway. The doctor hopes the study findings lead to more research on ALS risk factors. I find show that for men, not only do moderate to high levels of physical activity and fitness not increase the risk of ALS, but that it may be protective against the disease, he said. Future studies of the connection between ALS and exercise are needed to consider sex differences in higher or professional athlete physical activity level. Other research suggests that type of physical activity is an important factor in mitigating ALS risk. For example, one study proposed that golf and gardening put men at 3 times greater risk of developing ALS. Wow. How golf and gardening put you at higher risk. Those are golfing is not as physically strenuous, but gardening can be. That's weird. Anyway, that study found that golfers and gardeners are especially prone because of frequent exposure to pesticides. Okay, now I get that point. Because pesticides, chemicals, and we know how certain chemicals can, over a long period of time, can develop different diseases inside you. So I can understand that much in that case. But anyway, which prior research has tied to disease development. Famous people who diagnosed with ALS. Yep, Steve McMichael. Yep, remember him from the Bears. According to ALS, someone dies from ALS and someone is diagnosed with it every 90 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Those numbers sometimes get exaggerated to me. They just do that to give the scare factor, basically. That's what it does. But, people don't like reading articles or hearing anything like this, so they're not going to take it to heart. And celebrities are not immune to its punishing effects. Footballer Dwight Clark and physicist, cosmetologist, and author Stephen Hawking. Yep. I remember them two having it. While singer Roberta Flack, sports writer Sarah Lanes, and former Chicago Bears football player Steve McMichael are still fighting. And I think that is it. Yeah, that is it. So, give me a second so I could go to just a long page about the back. All right. Now, like I said, ALS can be pretty bad. And like I said, ALS typically is random for the most part. But people who does wrestling or football, that these particular contact type sports, can develop it faster because of all the impact they take. And yeah, even though I still didn't understand the golfers and gardeners until they mentioned pesticides, then I can understand because of long time exposure to certain chemicals. So you gotta be mindful of that. So in a way, they basically saying ALS is kind of preventable, but not completely preventable. Because like I said, anybody could develop it at any time. But the study says it helps out men more than women. So that means they got to come up with some studies for the women's side. But they probably did, but they probably didn't find no correlation. So, yeah. So that was the article. I'll try and make this short as possible. So if you made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. Try and trigger this algorithm. Hit the sub if you haven't already. Please leave a comment telling me what you think about the article or some of my commentary of the article. Hit the notification bell for all future uploads and shares with anybody who probably wants or needs to hear this. So until then, I am at work, so that's why I'm not using my usual setup. So please forgive me for that. But I'm so busy, I gotta fit it in somewhere. So I catch you on the flip side. Y'all have a good one, and peace.